memorizing the open chords for the guitar is the first challenge for every beginner guitar player. So first is really just memorizing each chord, the major and the minor chords. There's no shortcuts, you just really have to memorize those chords. The next challenge is switching from one chord to the next, because even though you memorize all the chords, all the open chords, the major and the minor chords, the switching from one chord to the next one is a totally different skill, okay? For our chord examples, we're going to use the G open chord, the E minor open chord, the C major open chord, and the D major open chord. Now you're going to have to choose two chords for now. Let's use the G major and the E minor chord. For the G chord, I want you to put your two fingers together, your finger number 1 and finger number 2. Don't separate them like this. It should be together. So sticking together like this. Naturally, your index finger is shorter than your middle finger. So when you fret the first two notes on top of the G chord, the 5th string and the 6th string, it will be aligned perfectly like this, okay? So you really don't have to fret it this way separately. You put them beside each other, use your fingertips to really fret those strings, and you'll find it's a natural shape for your fingers. Don't play it this way, you bend your hand a little bit like this. So you see my fingers are pointing to my face. So those are the two first fingerings for the G chord, and you simply add your third finger on the first string of the 3rd fret below, and you have your G open chord, like that. So first we're going to analyze the shape of the G chord and look what fingers are we using for this chord. We're using the 1st finger and 2nd finger and the 3rd finger. Now you look for a common finger that you use for the 2nd chord, which is the E minor chord. So this is the shape of the E minor chord. I find that my 1st finger is the common finger between the G and the E minors. From switching to G major chord to E minor chord, what you can do is just simply take off your 3rd and 2nd finger off the frets, leave your 1st finger on the same string and adjust it just backwards a little bit to make room for your 2nd finger for the 4th string inside the 2nd fret, and you have your E minor chord. Now from E minor, you have to practice also going back to G. So remember the G shape again, go back, 2 fingers, 3rd finger down on the 1st string. For the next chord, C major, you're going to switch from E minor to C major. So from E minor, simply take off all fingers and think about the C major chord again and form that chord right there. Review the C major chord. This 1st finger goes to the 2nd string, 1st fret. Your 2nd finger goes to the 4th string, 2nd fret. 3rd finger goes to the 5th string, 3rd fret. That's it. But you avoid playing the 6th string, you don't strum it. You strum it from the 5th string going down to the 1st string. And that's your C major chord, open chord. So practice from E minor, switching to C major, again, just from scratch, take off all fingers, and then form that C major chord. Switch back to E minor, off, then back to those 2 fingers, E minor chord. Switch again to C major, take off all fingers, think about the C major chord, and form it this way. Now from the C major chord, you're going to switch to D major. For the D major, 1st finger is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, your 2nd finger is on the 1st string. both inside the second fret. Your third finger will go to the second string, third fret. There are no common fingers for these two chords, so again, you just simply take off all your fingers. And then from scratch, from 0, imagine the shape for the D major chord. So look at my fingers here. I'm anticipating the shape of the D major chord even before I touch the strings. And form that D major chord. Again, take off, go back to C major. I take off all the fingers because there are no common fingers for the C and D. So take off all your fingers and then imagine the shape of the D major chord. Anticipate, make the shape even though you're not touching any strings yet, but your fingers are already forming the shape of the chord. And now touch the strings, fret those frets. See? Now for this D major chord, you only pluck the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string. You're not gonna play the 6th and the 5th string. So the key here is to practice 2 chords at a time, G to E minor, E minor to C, and C to D. Go back to D to G. So it's important to have patience and keep on practicing daily, even just under 5 minutes. Practice 2 chords, G and E minor to C, then C to D. Okay, repetition also from practicing 1 chord to the next. Just keep on repeating it. At first, you need to put more thought on the movement of your fingers and the shape of the chords, but later on, through repetition, it will become natural and it will get easier. And you'll build that muscle memory with your fingers. Okay, so keep practicing and I'll see you on our next lesson.